In the Pali Canon, there's a sutra called the Upada Sutra. And in this sutra, the disciple Ananda approaches the Buddha and makes the comment that spiritual friendship is only half the spiritual life. The Buddha corrects his disciple and says, no, Ananda, spiritual friendship is the whole of the practice life. I am happy to be here with brothers and sisters from all over the world to share this life with you. Together, we get to celebrate this Vesak celebration to honor the Buddha. The great Mahasangha comes together in joy to celebrate our teacher's birth, enlightenment, and passing away. It's a wonderful opportunity to recommit to our vows and to recommit to our practice and to take real joy in the gift we have from the Buddha. So we wholeheartedly welcome everybody here, esteemed venerables and guests. And we look forward to your presentations. And we do so with great love and great admiration for your practice and for your contribution. So on behalf of the United Sangha Council, welcome to the 2022 International Vesak Celebration, Buddhist year 2566.
Thank you, Venerable Suni, Venerable Simbo Suni. Now we are going to pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. It would be conducted by Venerable Ajahn Bullion. The Venerable Ajahn Bullion, Katapunyo, is a Laosian monk, and he is the chief abbot of the Wat Lao Lanshan Temple, Wellington, Connecticut. During his 40 years of monkhood, he has studied in Myanmar and Thailand too. He is well-known meditation master and spiritual advisor in the Laosian community in the USA. He leads meditation retreats at his temple in Connecticut and in Hawaii Meditation Center too. Ajahn Bullion Katapunyo is a very active member in the United Sangha Council and facilitated to conduct summer Dhamma camps at his facility. Now we invite the Most Venerable Ajahn Bullion to conduct a homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Arahang sama sambuddho bhagava buddhang bhagavantang abhivademi buddhang bhagavantang abhivademi sakkhato bhagavata dhammo Dhammang namasami Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Sanghang namami Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Now we are going to do one of the most important things to remark the birth of the Buddha, practice of bathing the Buddha. bathing the baby Buddha. It's conducted by Venerable Mahayana Vinita. He's a master degree student in Harvard University, Massachusetts. Now he is going to conduct it with a few kids followed by him. Thank you, Venerable Vinita, and all the children who participated with bathing Buddha ceremony. Now we are going to practice meditation. Meditation is going to be led by Venerable Nun Shandong. Venerable Shandong is a Chinese Buddhist nun from Longguan Temple, Corona, California, practices under the Mahayana tradition. She currently pursuing her Doctor of Buddhist Ministry degree at the University of the West in California. Now, very respectfully, we are inviting Venerable Nun Shandong to conduct meditation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to be here, and let's start our meditation. We're going to start with a few minutes of breathing and then switch to metta meditation. Now let's get started. I'll ring the bell. Now please sit with an upright yet relaxed posture. Tongues on the roof of your mouth or wherever it is comfortable. You may close your eyes or keep your eyes half open. And now focus your attention on the breath. Take 3 deep in and out breaths. Try to release any tension you may feel, you may have with the out breath. Breathing in and out. Each time you're breathing in, think the breath soothing the abdomen, soothing the chest. Dissolve any tension you may feel here and there. And once again, breathing in, breathing out. One more deep in and out breath at your own pace. And now allow your breathing to become relaxed and natural. Spend some time letting your mind settle down in the present moment. Let go of thoughts of past or the future. Now start with thoughts of goodwill for yourself. Tell yourself, may I be happy. May I learn to be truly happy. Because happiness is something you learn. It comes from causes. You need to know what causes you happy, what kind of act causes you happy. And the cause has come from within, which is why your true happiness does not conflict with anyone else's true happiness. May I be happy. May I learn to be happy. And then spread thoughts of goodwill to other people. Start with people who are close to your heart. Your family, your very close friends. May they be happy. May they learn to be truly happy too. And then spread those goodwill, thoughts of goodwill out in a wider circles to people you know and like. May they be happy. May they learn to be happy, to be truly happy. And to people you are more neutral about, and to people you don't like, remind yourself the world would be a much better place if everybody could learn how to find true happiness within. Spread thoughts of goodwill to people who have harmed you in the past. May they learn to be truly happy. Spread thoughts of goodwill to people you have harmed in the past. May they learn to be truly happy too. And now spread thoughts of goodwill to people you don't even know. People who are suffering from the wars, COVID-19, and all kinds of illness. May they be happy. May they learn to be truly happy too. And not just people, to living beings of all kinds, east, west, north, south, above, and below, are to infinity. May we all find true happiness in our hearts. Now, before you open your eyes, remind yourself that even though you're going to have your eyes open, try to remain that loving kindness as long as you can. As you get up, walk around, talk, listen, or whatever you do. And when you hear the sound of bell, gently bring yourself back to this virtual room, this Zoom room. Gently open your eyes if your eyes were closed. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Venerable Shandon, for conducting meditation to make everybody experience calm, serenity, and peace within. I can see here all the kids still in meditation posture, keeping on deep in meditation. That's so great and nice to see. Thank you again, Venerable Shandon. Now, it's time to chant Metta Sutta, conducted by Venerable Hingunne Kondanya Mahathero. Venerable Hingunne Kondanya Mahathero is the chief abbot from Staten Island Buddhist Vihara, New York. Bhante Kondanya is a Sri Lankan Buddhist monk. He received his novice ordination in 1968. His monastic training in Colombo, Sri Lanka, and a BA degree in Buddhist philosophy from University of California, also in Sri Lanka. In 1985, he came to the USA to participate and also provide his helpful skills and services at the New York Buddhist Vihara. During that time, the dignified Kondanya began began to attend classes at CUNY and now holds a BS in social work. Moreover, in 1997, he obtained a MSW from Fordham University in New York. He has been dedicated to teach the Dhamma for younger generation in this country. Most of the kids, even in this Connecticut area, as well as New York and many other places, Chicago, they know by his name, Venerable Kondai. Now it's time for him to start.
Thank you, Venerable. So, since you already meditated, practice your loving kindness meditation, let me chant the Metta Sutta, which is the source of all Metta meditations nowadays that we are doing. So, wishing wellness and happiness to all beings. Let's remind ourselves Metta Sutta, that guidance to practice loving kindness meditation taught by the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Karaniya matta kusalena yang tang santang padang abhisamecce sakko ujuca sujuca suaco chassa mudu anatimani santussako subharoca appakiccoca sallauka buddhi Sangtindriyo chanipako che appagabbo kulesu ananugiddo nacha khuddang samachare kinchi yena vinyu pare upavadeyung sukhino akhemino hontu sabde satta bhavantu sukhitatta Ye ke chipana bhutatti tasava thavarava anavasesa Dighava ye mahantava majjhima raskanukatula Dittava yeva additthaye cha dure vasanti avidure Bhutava sambhave siva sabde satta bhavantu sukhitatta Neparo parang nikubbeta nati manyeta katta chinang kanchi Vyarosana patigha sanya nanya manyasa dukkha micchaya Mata yathaniyan kuttang ayusa eka putta manurakhe Evang pisabba bhutesu manasang bhavaye aparimanang Mettang ca sabba lokasming manasang bhavaye aparimanang Uddhang adoca tiriyang ce asang badang averang asapattang Tintang charang nising no vasaya no vayavatassa vigatamiddo Etang sating aditthaya brahmametang viharang idamahu Ditthiñ ca anupagamma silevadassanena sampanno Kamesu vinayagedang naidatu gabbaseyang punareti etena saccavajjena suttite otu sabbada etena saccavajjena suttite otu sabbada Etena saccavajjena suttite otu sabbada. Homage to the Supreme Buddha. One skilled in good, wishing to attain that state of peace, should act thus. One should be able, straight, upright, obedient, gentle, and humble. One should be content, easy to support with few duties, living lightly, controlled in sense, discreet, not impudent, unattached to families. One should not do anything, any slight wrong, which the wise might censure. May all beings have happy minds and happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak and strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth. May all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment, whether standing, walking, or sitting, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divine dwelling here. Not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures, one comes never again to unending birth cycle. By the power of this truth, may all beings be always happy and secure. May all beings have well-being. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for being part of it. Thank you for inviting and being part of this United Sangha Council West International Vesak Festival. So it is a great opportunity for us to practice metta, share the metta towards the world as well as among all of us who are participating today. Thank you.
Thank you, the Most Venerable King Kondanya Manadhero, for conducting Metta Sutta discourse in both the languages, Pali and English. Now it's time for the Dharma talk. Inner peace for world peace. The Most Venerable Geshe Siling Tangpo Rinpoche. Venerable Rinpoche was born during the second Kalachakra empowerment by His Holiness the Dalai Lama in Bodh Gaya, India. At the age of 2.5, he was recognized by His Holiness Dalai Lama as the 14th Trungpa Rinpoche and was enthroned at Sera Me Monastery University in Mysore, India. There he studied Buddhist philosophy, rituals, psychology, history, literature, and many more subjects. Meanwhile, he received monastic ordination and a number of rare transmissions, blessings, and empowerments from His Holiness the Dalai Lama and 16 other spiritual teachers, including H.E. Kyabje Khenso Rinpoche Lobsang Jampa. After receiving his Geshe degree at Serami, he enrolled at the Kyoto Tantric College in Dharmasala to complete his studies on esoteric tantric in 2016. Venerable Rinpoche currently resides in Serami, focusing on development on his own spiritual progression. Now, we cordially invite the Most Venerable Geshe Siling Tangpo Rinpoche to conduct his Dharma.
Prostrate to the accomplished Buddha, the sublime among all teachers, who taught that whatever has dependently arisen is neither unceasing nor unborn, neither nihilistic nor eternal, neither coming nor going, neither separate nor singular, and free from conceptual constructions. Prostration to the Triple Gem and my humble obeisance to all the venerables here, and greetings to everyone online. So today is the Vesak celebration, I think, and Vesak is celebrated as the birthday of the Buddha. But the thing was, Buddha was never born. Or to put it more correctly, nobody is born as the Buddha. There was the prince, the son of King Suddhodana, who was born. He was named Siddhartha, who became King Siddhartha and later Prince Siddhartha, and then seeing the all walks of life, he was he renounced the worldly life, and then through meditation, through penance, he became what we know as the Buddha. He was awakened. So the reason I'm telling you this, of course, we are all aware of that. The thing, I'm just trying to bring this into our awareness, the fact that Buddha is not eternal. Nobody was Buddha from the very beginning, or Buddha did not come out of the blue. There was a becoming or awakening, a process of the Buddha. So I think it's important for all of us to reflect on that. Which brings to us the possibility, just like Prince Siddhartha, who became Sannyasi Gautama, who became Lord Buddha, as we all revere and respect. There is a possibility for all of us for that transformation. And that transformation does not come from the outside. It comes, and it comes only through internal transformation. And that internal transformation is what we are going to discuss today. As the topic that was given to me today is inner peace, world peace. And very rightly so. It is such a vast subject. I mean, vast topic. It's a very difficult topic. And I think it's dabbled by all, everybody, I guess, all the scholars, all the experts, everyone. And they have, so my, I'm not going to try to compete with them or anything like that, but I'm just going to give my own perspective through my practices, through my experiences. I would like to share my thoughts on how to, let's say, how to achieve inner peace, how to achieve world peace through inner peace. As rightfully mentioned or rightfully instructed by Venerable Shandong here a little while ago during the meditation, the inner world peace should begin or start from somewhere close to us. Just like we started our meditation, compassionate meditation practice. We started that with people we love, we are close with, people with our inner circle, or people within our close circle. Similarly, the practice of development of world peace, development of international peace, development of national peace, development of statewide peace, homeland peace, or whatever you might call it. It should all start from closer to us, from our families, from our communities, from our families. And in order to share such good thoughts or compassionate thoughts or compassionate or peaceful moment with others, you first need to develop that within yourself. To which I would like to draw your attention to a citation made by Lama Tsongkhapa, one of the founders of the 4 lineages of the Tibetan Buddhism, the Gelugpa tradition, where he says, when you're, if you cultivate a positive heart, if you cultivate a positive mindset or a positive heart, then your ground and the path will also be positive. If you cultivate a negative heart, then your ground and the path will be negative as well. So ground here means your present status, and the path is the destination that we are traveling towards or going towards. So if you have a positive mindset, then your present moment as well as your future moments will also be peaceful, good, enjoyable, pleasant, and so on and so forth. If you have a negative mindset, your present, which is the ground, as well as your future, which is the path, will also be unpleasant and filled with suffering. So this brings to us that kind-heartedness, good heart, or positive mindset, or good thought is the most important thing. And in order to cultivate a positive mindset, in order to, when we cultivate positive mindset, we can share the positivity that we have towards others. Not by exchanging our pleasant moment with others' unpleasant moments. Buddha himself rightfully said that I cannot exchange my realizations with your sufferings. I cannot wash away your sufferings with my hand, and I cannot exchange my realizations with your ignorant thoughts. But I can lead you to the ultimate peace, nirvana, through my instruction, through my guidance, through the doctrine that I teach. So Buddha, as we rightfully know, that Buddha taught 84,000 volumes of text, the doctrine, which deals with the 84,000 different kinds of negative emotions within us, 21,000 pertaining to ignorance, 21,000 pertaining to attachment, 21,000 pertaining to hatred or anger, and 21,000 pertaining to all the 3 poisons in equal amount, which makes up to 84,000 volumes of teaching. And which can be summed up into what we usually call the 4 seals of the Buddha, that all compounded phenomena are impermanent, all contaminated things or phenomena are suffering, are bound to suffer, all phenomena are empty and selfless, and nirvana is peace. So I'm not going to go through the whole 4 seals, but the last line, which is nirvana is peace. Nirvana is the ultimate peace. This tells us that even though we enjoy momentary peaceful moment, temporary peaceful moment in the world that we live in, as long as we are in samsara, as long as we are bound by our contaminated thoughts, the second line, the contamination. So contamination is contamination of self-interest or self-grasping attitude, selfish thoughts. So as long as your actions, your speech, our speech, my actions, my thoughts are contaminated by selfishness, self-grasping attitude. As long as we have that, we are bound to suffer. We are bound to non-peace, or the peace that we enjoy are always momentary, as long as we are bound by our self-grasping attitude. So self-grasping attitude, sometimes we refer to that as the ultimate ignorance or the root ignorance. And rightfully called so, ignorance or the self-grasping ignorance from the self-grasping attitude is the root for all evils. Now, when we commit a negative action, such as stealing, killing, or lying to someone, we actually have to plan that to kill someone, right? To kill someone, to take someone's life, to take someone's property, so on and so forth. So before the physical action comes the mental activity or the mind. And that is actually rooted in the self-grasping attitude. I wanted to get rid of you. I wanted to kill you because you are a hindrance to my peaceful moment. And by eliminating you out of the picture, I'm convinced that I will have a peaceful moment. If you are out of the picture, then I am a happy person. And that actually is the main reason why we have so much chaos in the world, because we always think that I am the most important person in the world. We look at everything from my perspective. I am at the center, as we usually say, egocentric, right? So ego is at the center of everything. My ego, myself, my pride is at the center of everything. And then I balance out good and bad from that perspective. People whom I like are good, people whom I dislike are bad, and people whom I do not know about, I don't care about them. So because of that, this is called the root ignorance, or the ultimate ignorance. The self-grasping attitude is the ultimate ignorance. And from this ignorance, self-grasping attitude, stems all other forms of negative thoughts, negative emotions, mainly the three poisons of hatred, anger, and ignorance in general things, as well as jealousy and ego. So all this stems from the self-grasping attitude. So the self-grasping attitude, to eliminate that, the good thing about our negative thought is that there's a good side to the negative thoughts, good side to the negative thoughts or negative emotions, because all destructive emotions have their antidotes or constructive emotions. Without someone in suffering, without someone in a pitiful state, without the experience of anger, hatred, or someone in a pitiful state, there will be of no use for compassion. If nobody is suffering, if nobody is in a pitiful state, whom are you going to generate your compassion towards? If you have none of the negative emotions within you, how are you going to cultivate the positive emotions? Because the positive emotions act to balance out the negative emotions. So without the negative emotions to begin with, of course, we don't want the negative emotions for eternity, but without the negative emotions to conquer over, without the negative emotions to eliminate, without negative emotions to abandon, all the positive emotions, such as compassion, loving kindness, and so on and so forth, will have nothing to fight with, nothing to engage with. So the thing is, because there is the negative emotions, there are the positive emotions. Because of the destructive emotions, the constructive emotions also come into play and becomes valid, becomes valuable in our lives. Because there is hunger, because there's hunger, we love food. Because there is war, we want peace, so on and so forth. So negative emotion or destructive emotion, naturally, of course, it's destructive and negative. But at the same time, due to its existence, we also have the positive or the constructive emotions as well. So therefore, from looking at that perspective, from looking at our destructive and negative emotions both in a holistic way, we can learn to first accept our negative emotions. This is very important. I think a lot of people, especially in the spiritual scene, we try to shun out all negative emotions. But it's very important, I think, first to accept the negative emotions. If you look at Buddha's teaching, he said, which is recognize your suffering. And then second is abandon the cause of suffering, right? So recognizing the suffering, which is another way to say accept the suffering. A lot of times we never acknowledge or accept the suffering that we go through. As long as we ignore the suffering that is underlying within us, if we think that everything is so colorful and pleasant and beautiful, then we will never be able to address our negative emotions. And if we do not actually engage or address our negative emotions head on, head to head, face to face, then we will never be able to develop our constructive emotions, such as compassion, loving kindness, metta, and so on and so forth, without addressing or acknowledging the negative emotions first. So for that matter, in order to fully unleash the power of our constructive emotions, it is important that we accept the negative emotions that is underlying within us. So by doing so, we will be able to develop constructive emotions to the fullest. And to end, I would like to cite another quote from the Kadamba masters, which is, when you are with others, watch your mouth, and when we are by ourselves, watch your thoughts. So watching your thoughts, watching our thoughts when we are by ourselves is very important. When we watch our thoughts, when we watch our thoughts, we should also be very, very, very honest with ourselves. What sort of positive or negative emotion occurs within us? We must be very honest with the emotions that runs within our continuum, mental continuum. Many times we brush away a lot of negative emotions, even though we recognize those negative emotions from the text that we read. We do not recognize them, or we tend not to recognize them while we meditate. In a nutshell, we tend to not to be honest with ourselves when we are meditating by ourselves, alone. So it's very important to be very honest with ourselves. And if we are honest with ourselves and our thoughts and recognize our destructive emotions, then we will be able to stop the negative emotions from bursting out, expressing itself in destructive speeches or verbal actions, and destructive, negative, destructive verbal actions as well as destructive physical actions. And if I stop that from my side, from my family's side, from my community's side, from my country or nation's side, then we'll be able to bring the full world into peace through inner peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Venerable Geshe Shin Tongke, for wonderful Dharma talk. We have been having monthly discussions in between Pali tradition and Sanskrit tradition. I think there would be a lot more to share with Venerable Geshe for the betterment of all the humankind and spread of the wonderful Dhamma throughout all the world. Thank you again, Venerable Geshe. Now, chanting for inner strength, led by Venerable Shimbo Sunim. The Venerable Shimbo Sunim, which means sacred heart. Sunim is a Zen Buddhist monk who serves as the abbot and the spiritual director of White Lotus Heaven Zen of Connecticut incumbent. In this role, he provides Zen Buddhist teachings that include meditation, instruction, sutra study, spiritual guidance, and support, chanting instruction, and Zen liturgy for individuals and groups. Venerable Shimbo Sunim directs the development and cultivation of organizing WLHZ programming and is the Sangha representative to Buddhist specific associations and the community at large. He is one of our United Sangha Council great member who supports and being with us all the time we have any kind of program. And now we invite the most venerable Shimbo Sunim to start his chant.
Thank you, Bhante. So in our tradition of Rinzai Zen Buddhism, in the Mahayana tradition, we have in Korean practice what is called Kido. And Kido means way of energy. So we chant Kido every day by breathing deeply into the body and letting the voice resonate in the body. So today I would just like to invite you to chant with me. I will be chanting Soga Moni Bul, Soga Moni Bul, which means Shakyamuni Buddha in honor of Vesak Day. So I will begin. Bore jiro agong il chinjung jukyon bo jinshin 연제 삼보존 일인 모소래 옴바람이 옴바람이 나무 삼계도 사사생자부 시하본사 소가모니굴 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 정상총가모여불 시방세계용부비 대강소유하징효 윤재무유혼돌자 고아일신귀명종대 나무소가모니굴 나무소가모니굴 나무시아본사 송가모니굴
Thank you, Venerable Sunil, for leading everyone with deep saddha or shraddha, devotional feelings in our hearts towards the Sakya Muni, the Buddha, fully enlightened one. Now, Dhamma talk by the most venerable Yogavachara Rahula Mahathera. He is going to talk today on how to apply the Dhamma in our busy lives. Venerable Rahula Mahathera was born in Southern California in 1948. After following the hippie trail to India, He eventually discovered Theravada Buddhism in Sri Lanka, where he ordained as a novice monk in 1975 at Gautama Tapovanaya, Sri Lanka. He received his Bhikkhu Upasampada ordination at Wat Thai, Los Angeles in May 1979. After returning to Sri Lanka for some years, he came to help Bhante Hemekula Gunratana to establish the Bhavana Society Forest Monastery, where he served as vice abbot from 1986 to 2010. Now, after years of teaching Dhamma and leading retreats around the world, Bhante Ravula has taken on the role of as managing director and chief meditation teacher at the Lion of Wisdom Meditation Center in Gaithersburg, Maryland. He is the author of One Night Shelter and other Dhamma books. Now we cordially invite the most venerable Yogavachara Ravula Mahathero to conduct his Dhamma sermon.
I think Most Venerable is muted.
I'm sorry about that mute. Okay, so as I said before, I want to give my greetings to all the assembled Sangha members here that have preceded me in this program and for inviting me to share a little bit of the Dhamma teachings. Now, when we say practicing the Dhamma, that's a very wide subject because there's many schools of teaching the Dhamma, and there's many practices that go along with, with the different traditions have in practicing the Dhamma, different ways of teaching, different ways of meditating, and different types of ceremonies that are important within particular traditions. Now, I'm going to be speaking primarily from my experience in the Theravada tradition and, in the wider interest in the practice of meditation in these Western countries. As we all know, meditation is very much popular in these countries, not only for Buddhists, but for non-Buddhists too, because now Buddhist meditation has been recognized quite widely, especially the practice of mindfulness. And we all know that the Buddha taught the practice of mindfulness, and his main teachings on meditation, according to Theravada tradition, is the four foundations of mindfulness. And this is a process for learning to understand our mind. So the practice of meditation is considered to be one of the main aspects of practicing the Dhamma in the daily life. Of course, taking refuge, observing 5 precepts or more precepts, and practicing pujas and so on. These are also important parts of the practicing the Dhamma. But in terms of the meditation, in developing our mind, in practicing precepts and other things, we can help to avoid negative actions, and we can help to make our mind more peaceful by purifying our karmic actions and practicing loving kindness and so on. And also by, recitations of the Dhamma and increasing our knowledge of the suttas and the teaching. Now, but in the practice of meditation, when people go on retreats, they go on a retreat, and which is very organized, and usually the retreat occurs within a, you could say, a sterilized environment. That means most of the distractions are taken away, and everything is done for you, and many times they don't have to do any work, whether they might pay a fee to go on a retreat, and all the meals are provided, and they keep all the distractions away, and give people almost 100% of their time to practice meditation. Now I'm talking from the experience of sort of like, say, mindfulness retreats and mindfulness meditation or vipassana retreats that are, very popular in this country, but even other forms of retreats, I'm sure. But people go on the retreat and they get motivated to practice, and usually the practice is recommended, to practice meditation once or twice a day for 45 minutes or an hour, or practice chanting for half an hour, or these longer sessions of time. And most people nowadays, they're very busy. And that's why, the topic was practicing the Dhamma in the midst of busy lives, because people have become so busy, and they have so many obligations, and just learning to, trying to live in this world and earn a living, and then other responsibilities of family and so on. People find it difficult to spend a lot amount of time per day practicing, that form of Dhamma, practicing meditation. And so usually people go on a retreat as a kind of a crutch, when their mind is feeling upset, or they're becoming unmindful, and they feel, oh, I have to go on a retreat, I have to learn how to calm down and recenter. And so they go on a retreat, and then maybe they're able to do that during the retreat because everything is organized, and they're sitting usually in groups, or the teacher is leading the meditation. So they find it quite easy to, endure the pain or endure their monkey mind. And, anyway, they make it through the retreat, and they get, a newfound motivation or enthusiasm for practicing the Dhamma more intently in the daily life. But the problem is they go home and they don't have that organized environment. They may not have daily access to a teacher or teachings, a lot of people living alone, but there's no one around to sort of watch them. Oh, you should do meditation in the morning, you skip your meditation, or something like that. So at the end of the retreat, many people might already plan out, okay, I'm going to, according to the retreat, every morning now in my daily life, I'm going to get up at, early morning, I'm going to do some chanting, do some meditation, then I'm going to, do another session of practice in the evening. And then maybe for the first day or two, they are able to practice some session of meditation or Dhamma practice in the morning and evening. But then the life catches up with them, and then little by little, various pressures and so on, and they usually give up the evening meditation. They give up first, or they don't find time to continue the evening meditation. And then as time goes on, their 45 minutes of Dhamma practice in the morning dwindles down to 30 minutes. And then a couple of weeks later, that 30-minute Dhamma practice goes down to 15 minutes. And then before you know it, they're going out the door, swigging down their last bit of coffee, and they go out the door, and they pat the Buddha on the head, and they say, Namo Buddhaya, you meditate for me. and I think a lot of people, have some experience with that. So that's a problem. And people are always asking, how can we practice Dhamma in daily life? They think that you have to practice for a whole hour, in order to make it any useful Dhamma practice. And so for people that seem to always have a reason why they have to skip their meditation or Dhamma practice because of this idea that it has to be so long, we've come up with a kind of a modified form of Dhamma practice or a new form of meditation. And I euphemistically call it the M&M, or the practice of M&Ms, take an M&M every day. So an M&M stands for minute meditation. So when people hear a minute meditation, they say, oh, well, I can do that. And so actually the practice of an M&M is a specific training where you train yourself to stop for 1 minute every hour. That means you kind of stop whatever you're doing, kind of freeze in your tracks, whether you hear a beeper on your watch or some other indication. You stop whatever you're doing and come to the present moment. Bring your mind to the body and take a few deep, slow breaths. Taking a deep, slow breath and holding your breath in for a few seconds is a very wonderful way to slow down and to get the mind out of that rush to the future. You know, during the day, most people, because their lives are busy, it's like they have an invisible hand always pushing them on the back, faster, faster, faster. And they don't know how to slow down. So this practice of the mindfulness of the body is a very wonderful practice. And even the Buddha taught this in the 4 foundations of mindfulness. The first foundation of mindfulness is mindfulness of the body. And part of that practice is to slow down what you're doing and to know what you're doing at any moment. When you're standing, know that you're standing. When you're walking, know that you're walking. When you're moving, know that you're moving the body in different ways. That means the mind is in the present moment. And most meditation practices are designed to bring the mind to the present moment, and you're focusing on either chanting or you're focusing on an object of meditation, the breathing or the body. But basically it means you're holding the attention in the present moment. Because all of our problems are problems of the past and future. And most people's minds are constantly going between the past and the future. They hear something or they remember something from the past of either desire or aversion, or greed or hatred, and then they project that into the future, wanting that in the future or having fear of some painful sensations coming to them in the future. But basically, most people's minds are focused on the future. So to break that cycle of the mind rushing to the future, to stop and pause, and to take a few deep breaths really just stops the mind in its tracks, whatever you were thinking about or whatever you were doing, and you bring it to the body. And you just tell yourself, oh yes, breathing in, standing, breathing out, standing. Or if you're sitting, breathing in, sitting, breathing out, standing. And try to keep your mind just on the present moment of the body just for 1 minute. Because 1 minute is quite doable. You know, anybody can really stop and pause for 1 minute because we waste so much time during the day doing a lot of different things. And then we usually, because we rush during the day, we have to spend time cleaning up our messes. So if we move more slowly and are more grounded in the present moment, then we won't make so many mistakes. And also we won't get tired out so much. So anyway, learning how to pause, bring your attention to the body, take a few deep breaths, and basically just sort of break that push to the future. And just in keeping your mind in the present moment for even just 1 minute, even 30 seconds is enough to relax you. And the mind might forget about what you were thinking about in the last hour. So people get stressed out Most people go through the whole day collecting one stress after another without pausing or reflecting on it. And by the end of the day, they've accumulated so many different little stresses, you know, arguments with certain people or worrying about this and that. And it accumulates. So at the end of the day, usually they don't feel like meditating because their mind is so tired. So learning how to pause for a minute every hour is you're able to release that stress accumulated in the previous hour so that you don't carry it over into the next hour. So that's one of the main benefits of that. And in that 1 minute, you can also forgive anybody that crossed you in the last hour. You can also forgive yourself if you did something unmindful in the last hour, maybe you're blaming yourself. So you can forgive yourself also, and you can send out metta. You can say, may all beings be well and happy. May all beings be free from greed, hatred, and delusion. May all beings be able to hear the Dhamma. And just a few little reflections like that. You can do all of that in the space of 1 minute. And by the time you're done with that, you would have forgotten about what you were, being disturbed by before that. And then anyway, then you start moving again. So you pause for 1 minute, you relax, you try to bring back your mindfulness. In that 1 minute, you can reflect on the Dhamma, and then you carry on your daily activity. But if you can do that, once an hour, now doing it once a day or even twice a day, probably not going to have much effect. But if you can really do it once an hour, which is doable, then that accumulates. And by the end of the day, you might have 10 or 12 quality minutes of meditation in. And then maybe because you relieve stress hour by hour, rather than accumulating it, at the end of the day, you'll feel more, feel like doing your meditation and Dhamma practice rather than just gobbling down some food and, hitting the bed or go watching some movie or something. You might feel like doing that longer meditation practice. So this is what I found for myself even, and what I encourage people to do, especially those people who find themselves not being able to do so-called proper Dhamma practice, whatever they might consider that to be. If they can do these M&Ms, then at least that's the way they can kind of keep the toe in the door, of the Dhamma practice, and that they don't lose it altogether. And that when they do come back and do a longer practice, especially meditation practice, by reducing the stress hour by hour and getting familiar with bringing the mind back to the present moment, then when you do sit for longer meditation, it's going to be a lot easier to get into that. Now, apart from even 1 minute, a lot of people say, well, even 1 minute, oh my gosh, I forget to do it, or, even the little beeper rings and they don't do it. But, during the day, we have 5 seconds or 20 seconds here or there of idle time, like waiting in line at the supermarket or stopping at a red light in your car. Normally, we just let our mind wander and look around and get distracted. But instead, we can just, feel our hands holding the steering wheel. Bring your mind to the present moment. Feel your buttocks pressing the seat of the car. Or maybe just do a couple of deep, slow breaths while you're sitting for the red light, instead of looking around or getting angry at somebody. Or you can send out metta also. And one of my favorite ways of doing that is, whenever you're waiting in line, especially like at a supermarket or somewhere else, you're standing in line. instead of looking around at others, criticizing the lady for not managing her children, or, picking fault with different people, just bring your mind to your own body and feel your feet grounded to the floor. Again, take a few deep breaths. Just remind yourself breathing in, standing, breathing out, standing, and just keep your mind in the present moment. Normally people would let their eyes go over to the rack of magazines, right? At the supermarket, they have all these magazine racks. So people get distracted and they see a magazine with the headline, Michael Jackson was reborn, and they go, oh, wow. So instead of letting your mind get distracted, you keep your eyes in your own head and feel, at any one point, there's always part of your body grounded to the floor, like your feet, if you're standing, or your buttocks, if you're sitting. And these are very powerful contact points that you can easily feel and it will easily hold your attention. So, or if the cashier is having trouble with her machine and people are in the front, or getting a little bit upset, you can send out metta to them in that 1 minute while waiting, or even less. So there's many opportunities that we can practice these little bits of Dhamma. And because that's really where the rubber meets the road, is when you're practicing out in the world. You can practice in a secluded room or with a group, and practice chanting and meditation, but it's out there in the world when you're encountering surprises, when you're encountering lots of negative energy. That is when we need our mindfulness and we need our composure the most, right? Because we never know when that's going to happen. Surprises can happen at any time. And that's when we need to have access to the ability to be mindful and remind ourselves, okay, don't get excited. This has happened. Just slow down and take a few deep breaths, and then carefully consider, what had happened, and then make a reasonable and mindful then response to various situations. And especially if you have to go in to talk to somebody, like you talk to your boss about getting a raise, or talk to your husband or wife about the taxes or how to raise your children, whenever there might be some potential for negative tension arising because you know yourself and you know others. So you can prep yourself. So whenever you have to go in to talk to somebody where it could be some tension, take a few deep breaths, remind yourself, okay, whatever happens in there, let me not lose my cool, and let me just respond with constructive and helpful comments. And so, especially that mindfulness of the body, because everything arises through the body. And when you're more grounded and centered in the body, you can feel these energies arising, the energy of getting angry. When you start to get upset, you can feel this tension arising. Or when you have some lust or greed, you can feel that energy if you're in tune with the body. But most people are not in tune with their bodies. But that's why mindfulness of the body is such a wonderful practice. So these are ways, because that's where you create your karma, is out there on the street, at least the bad karma you're creating. And so to be able to reduce that and the mistakes we made doing these minutes of mindfulness, practicing the M&Ms, will go a long way, will be a very useful supplement for your Dhamma practice. So this is like a meditation supplement. These M&Ms every hour, stopping for 1 minute during the day to pause and reflect on the Dhamma. And it's something that's very doable. So friends, that's what I wanted to share with you in this segment of this program. And I want to wish you all a very pleasant and mindful month. Basically, this whole month is sort of Vesak, because different temples have been having Vesak services and programs ever since the 1st of May. So Anyway, I wish you all the best in your Dhamma practice. And just remember one little thing, mindfulness a day keeps dukkha away. Okay, that's the M&Ms. So thank all of you and Namo Buddhaya.
Thank you, the Most Venerable Yogavachara Rahul Hamduru, for giving the Dhamma talk. And he is with us with our monthly Dhamma and Dharma program most of the time. And he gave the beginning for the first time Dhamma talk in our monthly Dhamma and Dharma programs too, about a year ago. And so I think he is busy even today with a meditation retreat. So thank you, Venerable Yogavachara Rahul Hamduru, for giving us a wonderful Dhamma talk today too. Thank you. Now, we are going to listen to Mahayana Sutta chanting conducted by Venerable Dr. Nakagaki Kenjutsu. Venerable Dr. Nakagaki Kenjutsu is the president of Heiwa Peace and Reconciliation Foundation of New York. Dr. TK also works as a Hiroshima Peace Ambassador. The Heiwa Peace and Reconciliation Foundation supports annual Hiroshima and Nagasaki peace events in August, promotes awareness of issues related to the proliferation of nuclear weapons and general issues in relation to war, conflict, and violence, with the intent of taking a proactive approach based upon Eastern religions to create a peaceful world. The foundation works to give life to the wish for peace. Venerable Dr. Nakagaki also been one of our very close member of the United Sangha Council. Now we cordially invite Dr. Venerable Nakagaki to conduct the Mahayana Sutra chanting.
Okay. So thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. And also, just one thing I should add is I'm also was the longtime president of Buddhist Council of New York, but also the president emeritus of the Buddhist Council of New York too. So I think that's also very important. And so what I like to have today, that is actually coincident, but maybe the Dharma arrangement. You know, the Venerable Shimbo did the Korean chanting. So I do have a Japanese and then Chinese together. So I just have a video. So I hope you will see, and then we'll do the feeling of with present, and probably do the together with my video too. So so let me share the video for the. This is start from the three treasures, and then goes to the Heart Sutra together, and then the Bodhisattva vows, 4 great vows. So that's how I do. Okay, so hope you be.
Hello everyone, happy Vesak Day. My name is Reverend Dr. TK Nakagaki. I'm representing Japanese Buddhist tradition.
Happy Vesak Day. My name is Meiyo, Chinese monk.
Namo Kiemutsu. Namo Kieho. Namo. ナモキエソ Namo
僧，归佛归法归僧，归佛归法归僧。众生无边誓愿度，烦恼无尽誓愿断，法门无量誓愿学，佛道无上誓愿存。Happy Vesca Day. Happy Vesca. Thank you.
That's all. So thank you. So that's from the Minyu from the Chinese temple. He's president of the American Buddhist Confederation, Korean temple. I mean, sorry, Chinese temple. I'm sorry. So I hope you enjoy that. And well, basically, we'll try to get together. And then this is actually part of the similar thing to the UN Vesak things. We're creating the UN Vesak, the celebration part of the chanting, and then actually we did together for different parts. So this is something that I didn't share, of course, at the UN. UN one is with the Korean monks too. So that's why happened to be I just put it together, and somehow it worked out okay. I hope you enjoyed it okay, and so that's something new for this time. Lastly, I just wanted to also mention that the importance to create kind of a harmony together. I mean, that's also one thing that I would like to share. Since we have a different Mahayana tradition, one of the difficult part of Mahayana tradition is we have different languages and different chantings and everything. And so, but then it's, in a way, I feel like recently many time Buddhist sort of separate. Everybody's separate. Like here, like this united, what do you call it, the Sangha Council, which is nice. We unite, and which is I think is a very important value that we should have, because we tend to do our own practice, but not to the joining together. But then the one thing is also nowadays, of course, a lot of difficult situation for the people, and then I'm sure the Buddhist community can do many things together. Not, of course, one person can do together. I mean, themselves too, of course. I mean, but not only that, but we just be able to get together and then share the moments together and meditate together, and then also work together. And so I hope that was one of the hopes. So I just don't want it to do by myself. I just wanted to have somebody together, and so that's the spirit I wanted to share with you today. And I hope we can. So I'd like to congratulate United Sangha Council to be able to have bringing people together for today. And so happy Vesak Day. I mean, happy Vesak for everyone. At least, thank you so much. Take care. Thank you for this opportunity. Okay. And then peace to you all. Thanks.
Thank you, Venerable Nakagaki, for making us able to participate both with great traditions of Japanese and Chinese at the same time, to get great blessings on this sacred Vesak Day. Now, the program one before the last item, I think two before the last item. Venerable Kottave Nandanayaka Mahathero is going to conduct us sharing merits with the departed ones and deities. Venerable Kottave Nandanayaka is the chief abbot of the Long Island Meditation Center, New York. He was born in Sri Lanka in 1966 and ordained as a Buddhist monk in 1977, and he received his higher ordination in 1985. He earned a Tripitaka Vedi degree at the Bhikkhu University of Anuradhapura in 1989 and a master degree in Buddhist philosophy from the University of Kelani in 1991. Such academic studies further broadened his Tripitaka and meditation knowledge in greater depth and detail, including in-depth studies in Pali, Sanskrit, logic, philosophy, history, and literature. Even tomorrow, he is going to conduct a one-day retreat in his temple, Long Island. Those who would like to participate with that also is possible. I think online access also would be there. Now we invite Venerable Kottave Nandanayaka Mahathero to conduct sharing of merits.
Thank you very much, Venerable Dhammaloka. It's a great pleasure to join with you today with the United Sangha Council, celebrating the Vaishaka Purnima or Vesak Day celebration. It was so peaceful and pleasurable to see you all in this great event. Meditation, Dhamma talks given by venerable monks who we know from long time. So this is the time to share merits with departed ones. There are many monks participate here, different Buddhist sectors, Buddhist schools, Theravada temples, New York Buddhist Vihara, Staten Island Buddhist Vihara, Long Island Buddhist Meditation Center, New Jersey Buddhist Vihara, Connecticut Buddhist Vihara, Boston Buddhist Vihara, and so on. And also other sectors, Vajrayana temples and Mahayana temples. So those monks and nuns who departed from us, who did wonderful service for the dispensation of the Buddha and the society, we better think about this. Before us, they have done great service for the mankind. So meanwhile, those who departed, the members of the temples, Mahayana, Vajrayana, Theravada, likewise, all those different Buddhist schools, devotees and members who did great service to those temples and society, we better think about them also. Not only them, but also those who departed in Ukraine because of the current situation. Those who lost lives, we think about them. And other different situations, COVID-19, those who affected COVID and suffered and departed from us, from this world. We think about them. As well as those monks who are gathered here in this Zoom meeting to celebrate the Vesak, the birthday of the Buddha, enlightenment and passing away. All these monks are doing great service. So those who departed from you, your family, your relatives, maybe the parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, ancestors, whoever, expecting merits, may they be rejoicing these merits and attain ultimate bliss of Nibbana. By the power of Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, with the help of all these great meritorious activities, may you be well, happy and peaceful, those who are present in here, and also those who departed from us, may they rejoice in these merits and attain ultimate bliss of supreme Nibbana. Having that intention, you all can recite together the Pali stanza, pouring water. Idam me jnatinam hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Idam me jnatinam hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Idam me jnatinam hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Yatha varivaha pura paripurenti sagarang evameva ito dinnang petanang patappati iccitang paccitang tuihang kippameva samijjatu sabbe purento citta sankappa Canggo panne raso yatha maniyo Viraso Yatha. May all the blessings be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable Nandana Kapuro, for conducting sharing reads. Now, it's time for ending, almost like ending the program. So, Venerable, now it's Dhamma message and conclusion by Venerable Geshe Dharge. Venerable Geshe Lobsang Dharge, the resident teacher at Do Nang Konfon in Reading, Connecticut. Venerable Geshe Dharge was born in 1969 in northeast India. At the age of 10, he entered Sera Me Monastery, which is one of the largest Tibetan monasteries. Geshe received his ordination as a novice monk in 1982. He then received the vows of a fully ordained monk, a bhikkhu, in 1994, directly from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. After 15 years of study, Geshe appeared for the All Gelsiga Monastic University examination in 1998 and was awarded the highest monastic degree, that of Geshe Narampa, for the final part of his examination. Geshe had to go to all the three great monastic universities of the Gelugpa tradition, namely Sera, Ganjen, and Drepun, to engage in philosophical debates with the finest of monk scholars. He also received the Nagrampa degree in Buddhist scientific studies. Geshe also served in the Education Department Committee of Sera Me Monastery from 1999 to 2001. He also serves as the Secretary of the United Sangha Council. Now, Venerable Geshe Dharge.
Thank you, Pandit Amaloka. So taking homage to Buddha Dhamma Sangha included all the Sangha members here. And as time is getting over, I will take very short. So reading few sutras of the essence of the Buddha's teaching. So first I'm going to reading that sutra from Dependent Origination Dharanita. Om ye dharma hitu prabhava hitum tisham tatha gato hevatat tisham cha yunarada evam vati maha shamanai soha. So English, translated in English. All dharmas originate from causes, and the Tathagata has taught these causes, and also that which puts in stop to these causes. This is too has been taught by the great Shamana. So the next other essence of the Buddha's teaching and practice from Sutta of Vinaya, just reading directly in English. Doing no evil whatsoever, practice virtue perfectly, tame your mind completely. This is the teaching of the Buddha. So the last part I'm reading that our wishes and prayer to the whole beginning to end. We talked many Dhamma lectures, wonderful, and then many the meditation and so on. So that part of dedicating and also will let you know what we do and with the United Sangha Council. So first, let me read this line. Through the coming of the Buddha into this world, the illuminating sunlight of his teachings and harmony among the community of disciplines who uphold the teachings. May there be auspiciousness of the teachings remaining long to the futures. So this is our wish, and then also the one message that I carry from His Holiness Dalai Lama, always saying that we are 21 centuries Buddhists. So, and then we should. So what it mean? It's not just simply try to practice Buddhism. It's go with more study and then try to understand clearly. This is which we're doing here with the United Sangha Council, and also United Sangha Council doing here. So as the being harmonious, all these community disciplines. So we have a many variety disciple of the Buddha. So Tathagata, Sukhato, Arhat talks us many different classes, many different teaching that we all knows. So, and then as well as try to get it together, do sharing each other, what do the talks, many different views, many different methods, many different ideas, as Pandit Rahula shares, many different schools that taught it. So all based on all this human's capacity, it's so wonderful. So Buddha's not teach only one set of the teaching. He teach many variety, the based on capacity. This is, we have very opportunity and like having very good luck to meeting with this Buddha Dharma, which has like many different teaching. And also it's not just simply having many teaching, it's also connected to each other. Even Buddha talks about the 4 different schools, 4 different views and different practice, but it's connected to each other. So far, so if you really want to protect Buddha's teaching, remaining in this world as long as further, then we must study the Buddha's teaching. And then as we're doing it, all the traditions. So all the different traditions, Buddhist, the Buddhist, we must find it out what the really essence of the each tradition's teaching through by the studies. This is really important in 21 centuries. So therefore, this is my last request as carrying His Holiness Dalai Lama's be a 21 centuries Buddhist. Thank you so much. And now next, Pandit Amaloka, who is our director of the United Sangha Council, also the founder of the United Sangha Councils. So we are very enjoying working with the Pandit Amaloka. So he will, the last part, say thank you for all. Thanking notes.
Thank you, Most Venerable Geshe Dharge, for giving us the wonderful Dhamma message for the day. And without him, I don't think we could have this kind of program. And he's the one when there was corona virus pandemic was going on, and not to stop our traditional Vesak festival, to suggest at least to conduct online, virtual day like this. So thank you, Venerable Geshe, for giving us right now also a wonderful Dhamma talk, Dhamma message. Now, for me, it's to thank everybody who has participated all the venerable months. In order to save time, I am not going to mention the names again. All the venerable months and everyone who participated with our program today. And a special thanks to Mr. Chaminda Dharma Tilaka, who actually dedicated so many days and time to organize all this and to make this available for us to practice today as a Vesak ceremony. He is the power behind. And also there are many devotees and volunteers who have helped us a lot to make this possible, this event. And all the monks, nuns, and all those, they support us. We appreciate your service and send you the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha to make this kind of meritorious activities more and more again in the future. So thank you everyone, thank you all. Officially now it's time to end this program, but those who wish and who could remain with us, we invite you all to participate further going on program right now from Connecticut Meditation Center in Connecticut. Right now in Sri Lankan traditional way, we have Vesak lanterns and lamps lit, and children and others have been participated. So you can see, you can look around here just before end the program. So thank you again, and have a wonderful Vesak day. Thank you everyone. Thank you. And from now on, I am going to show you here, and those who like to see around here. Alright, then see you in the now. We have a very big garden Buddha statue in Chinese tradition. And these are Vesak lanterns in Sri Lankan tradition. We call it Atapattama. You can see 4 squares together to represent 4 noble truths. In that way, there is a Dhamma message with this lantern too. And it's Sri Lankan tradition to light coconut oil lamps to offer the Buddha. In this meditation center, this is the first Vesak celebration. They have just bought this property to make it a meditation center. You have to put the umbrella to the, yeah, that's. All the devotees and friends in Connecticut Meditation Center, they are getting ready to celebrate Vesak.